When somebody walks in here, they can tell the difference between this place and a theme park.
The fourth fort to be built here, one of the last great bastion forts to be built anywhere in the world.
So when this fort was built, it was the cutting edge of technology.
Halifax was so well defended that the enemy knew that he has no chance to take it.
It's real wood, it's real stone, it's real brick. It's even made the same way it was back when it was built the first time in the 1800s.
So it was quite exciting to kind of bring it back to life.
Every year, thousands of visitors arrive at Halifax's citadel to experience a national historic site that stands sentry to Canada's past. A fort that is always ready to protect and defend, that looms steadfast, seemingly ageless. Except, looks can be deceiving. Not long ago, the great fortress was all but forgotten, its thick walls collapsing, its battlements crumbling.
The Army gave this place up in 1951, and it sort of went into a caretaker mode. Masonry walls over time begin to disintegrate, and so it was in need of significant work.
Foundations sunk in unstable soil rather than firm bedrock. Walls that heaved and buckled from Halifax's freeze and thaw cycle. Mistakes by the original designers and builders had been worsened by time and neglect.
It was used for a number of museums, and the Citadel really isn't a museum, it's a monument. It just needed that attention.
That necessary attention came from a sweeping 1950s government report on the state of the arts and sciences in Canada.
There is a recommendation that the Government of Canada should restore the Halifax Citadel and should reconstruct the Fortress of Louisbourg.
Historians were sent to archives all over the world to find the original documentation associated with the Halifax Citadel.
You had an enormous number of very dedicated, highly skilled, highly trained engineers, draftsmen, historians.
We were called as found recorders. We were told to record the entire Halifax Citadel. We went inside the casemates and recorded the casemates, locations of fireplaces, windows, doors, profiles of the arches. Recording was done accurately so that we could put everything back accurately, a proper record of the way the British constructed the fort originally.
As they pieced together the puzzle, structural engineers took the first tentative steps in rebuilding the fortress. Most of the time, it was just hard, painstaking work, done with an artisan's pride and an artist's touch.
The masons that we had here were master masons. They basically had the same skill sets and knowledge and understanding as the people that built the fort in the 19th century.
I know the stonemason in particular, a man named Charlie Mosier. He cut many of the stones that needed to be cut.
He feathered a stone just so beautifully. I watched him put the feathers in. They're metal clips like the top of a fleur-de-lis, and you drive a spike through the center. And as you drive it down, tap, 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 suddenly the stone splits along the line of these feathers. It breaks exactly on the line he wanted it to break.
And when you look on some details of the arches, you see each stone was carved exactly for the place. This is granite. This stone is here for 150 years and it looks almost new.
Authenticity demanded unwavering attention to the smallest detail. The Douglas fir used for the fortress signal mast had to come all the way from British Columbia. The hand lettering over doors had to be the right size and style. Long ago formulas were consulted to ensure paint colors were as authentic as possible. Perfection, alas, isn't always possible. Sometimes the engineers and architects couldn't deliver exactly what the historians and archaeologists demanded.
We tended to lean in the direction of authenticity, and we wanted to make sure that we were doing things as authentic as possible. But of course, things like public safety, cost, engineering concerns also enter into the equation.
When we started the restoration process, the regional director came to me and he told me in my ear, "David, your biggest enemy is water."
Groundwater, as it comes into a fortified work, it'll get in between the masonry, turn to ice and expand, so it leads to fissures and cracks.
We decided that we will build it reinforced concrete foundation so it will last 100 years. This way, you have much less maintenance and it doesn't fall apart.
Sometimes only a vivid imagination can find solutions. When the weight of the walls threatened to collapse the leaking casement roofs, styrofoam was inserted to lighten the load.
In the construction of the ramparts, which were earth at the time, one of the challenges that we faced was that put tremendous strain on the walls.
We have concrete, then we have styrofoam. Then we have 3 feet or 4 feet of earth. And it was very stable.
This was viewed as a reasonable compromise by both historians and engineers. Authenticity, after all, is at the core of the rebuilding process. Throughout the Citadel's restoration, this underlying commitment never wavered. But Parks Canada learned from the mistakes of the past. Time and neglect can be more dangerous than any cannonball. The grass on the ramparts is being cut less often to establish a deeper root system.
We let the grass grow rather than mow it. It's better for the established protection of the bastions, and we like the look rather than the manicured look. We have a door and window program, and Alan Dirtle, our carpenter, he takes care of implementing that. He has a shop completely set up to do doors and windows. Alan can build a far better quality door than what we could buy.
There are over 750 doors and windows on site, and I don't even believe I got to see them all yet, but I know I worked on a large number of them. Parks Canada has researched all the doors and window types on site and have compiled them together here in a set of drawings. The window I'm working on right now is a Type A window. It's one of the last old windows that are around. As you see, the condition, the shape that it's in, it's ready for replacement. It makes me very proud to be able to work on reconstruction of the Citadel here. Being able to work on period doors and windows, you can't ask for anything better.
The craftsmen that come to work on the fort, they take pride in their work, and it shows.
Artisans, using time-honored skills, continue to shore up the massive walls as they've done for more than 250 years.
As you can see, the boys are restoring the fort walls. So the process would be to number and record the stones, take them down, get things prepared, ready for them to be rebuilt. And then each stone would go back exactly where it was before, as it was originally. The techniques of lifting the stones up, we would use Lewis pins and dog pins, which is what originally would have been used. I'm very proud of the work that I've done here at the Citadel, especially because it's British heritage as well.
Restoration is an ongoing effort, so with Parks Canada's leadership, the process continues. It's not rocket science. It's putting mortar and stone together to form a wall, except somehow it becomes much more.
The reconstruction of these forts maintain the direct link of our history to our everyday lives. So our heritage isn't something that's merely bricks and mortar and guns and things like that. It's the story that those things encapsulate and tell us.
And if these good old stones could talk, they could tell a lot of stories about how this country was built. This is a living, breathing monument that has an association with Canadians of all generations.
I believe firmly that authenticity does matter, and that it is part of what draws people to places like this. They know that they're going to be able to touch history in a real way.
There's few people anywhere in the world that can compare with the work and the dedication that goes into the restoration of this fort and others around the country.
A famous writer once said, "The past is never dead. It's not even past." By ensuring the Citadel's legacy, Parks Canada isn't just preserving our past, it is enriching our future.